Bill Rombach.
To the inside, row number 2, driving the 12 car. That is Dennis Proxasil. And to the outside, the 12P of Brandon Proxasil.
I'm glad you took row 2. I never would have gotten those correctly.
Now, normally that 2M driven by Mike Ganskow could not drive it tonight as he has a torn meniscus. So Colby Check driving that car tonight. That 2M car is a 66 Ford Falcon. Leaf spring suspension on that car as we're going to go green here. That 66 Ford Falcon, normally one of the fast cars in this group. Different driver tonight, Colby Check, as he gets back to that second place spot. Now the 7 car, that's 74 Chevy Malibu by a wild man, Bill Rombach, out with the race lead now, running in third. It's going to be the 12P car. That is Brandon Proxasil. That 12P, a 75 Camaro. And then the other 12 car out there as well, a 65 Chevelle, and Dennis Proxasil rounding out the field.
But up front, it is still all the 7 car, Bill Rombach, as he is holding off the 2M of Colby Check. As Scotty alluded to, different driver in that car, but Check under pressure from Brandon Proxasil. Hopefully I got that correct. As that Camaro all over that Ford Falcon right now. This is Ford versus Chevy here, ladies and gentlemen. We know we got some bow tie bandits and we got some blue oval folks here. So pick your horse and cheer them on. But up front, it is all that 74 Malibu. Bill Rombach, as he's going to see 2 laps to go. Now we might have a battle for the lead as Brandon Proxasil. He has now gotten around Colby Check. And he is trying to get up and see if he can get that Camaro ahead of that Malibu. Oh, Rombach, he goes up. Proxasil's right there. They're side by side taking the white flag. Rombach by a nose as they go down into 1 and 2, coming out of 2. Rombach with the lead. Can Proxasil make one last run through 3 and 4? Again, Rombach bobbles Proxasil to the inside. Drag race to the line. Brandon Proxasil wins. Bill Rombach in second. Colby Check in third. And Dennis Proxasil is going to round out the field. Hey, Scotty, tell us a little bit about this series as you have dealt with them a little bit more than I have.
So not to be confused with the GOTRA, the Good Old Time Racing Association.
Or the Western Iowa Vintage Association.
Yeah, these guys, they put on a great show each and every track they hit. They've come to Norfolk to the Off-Road Speedway a few times this year. I've had the pleasure of getting to meet these guys. And what you don't realize just by looking at them, these are actually on like metric frames that your hobby stocks and stock cars would be on.
Yep.
But it's just the older style bodies. And like I said, that 66 Ford Falcon, that 2M, that's actually a leaf spring suspension on that 2M car. And Mike Ganskow told me last time they were in Norfolk, he said, you know, I've had stock car guys drive this, and they say, man, it handles a lot better than our regular stock car with the coil springs. Boy, this would be nice. But coming out, he raced number 2 here tonight. And in the percent car, that is going to be Ernie Cierney in a 53 Chevy. By the way, that car is really fast. I've seen that a couple times. To the inside, though, of him is going to be the double X of Trent Proxasil. By the way, check out the windshield on that double X when it comes by the flag stand.
Row number 2, a couple of the guys from down around my area that run the Western Iowa Vintage Association. To the inside, in the 13 car from Irwin, Iowa, that is Pete Rasmussen in a 71 Chevelle. And in a 64 Chevelle, that's a 38, owned by Sarge Slater, driven tonight by Grandpa Gum's Kevin Bruck. We are racing. And it is going to be Eric Cerny with the lead. Kevin Bruck now sitting up there in second. Meanwhile, it is Proxasil and Rasmussen side by side. Now Rasmussen's going to take over that third place spot. Cerny trying to hold off. But all the years of experience in Bruck, he turns it down the hill. And Kevin Bruck's going to lead lap number 1. It is Bruck, Cerny, the 13 of Rasmussen, and Proxasil, your top 4.
Still out in front is Kevin Bruck in the 38. Has a feature win over at the Off-Road Speedway in that 38 car earlier this year. That 53 Chevy Eric Cerny. Look at that thing go. And then you got Pete Rasmussen in the 13 car in that Chevelle. And then also in the double X car in a 49 Ford. And the back of the pack in Trent Proxasil. Out in front, though, making it look easy. Whether it's a hobby stock or a classic stock car, Kevin Bruck. He's getting green flag, 2 laps to go.
The current battle out on the track, that is going to be Cerny versus Rasmussen. Cerny able to get through 3 and 4 a little bit better, as well as 1 and 2, as Rasmussen pushes in 1 and 3, but then he turns it down into 2 and 4 and is able to get right up on the back bumper. But the question is, can he get around that 53 car of Cerny, a 00 car? It is going to be checkered flag out. For Grandpa comes Kevin Bruck. Eric Cerny in that 53 Chevy is going to take second. Pete Rasmussen in third. And Trent Proskasil will round out your field. We will see these cars back a little bit later for the Midwest Classic Stock Car feature.
So how about them Midwest Classic stock cars putting on a pretty good show already here in their 2 heat races. 8 cars on hand here tonight. I heard nothing. All right, so Jesse Ford going to give the sign green next time by here for your Midwest Classic stock cars. 8 cars in the house here tonight. We want to thank them for coming on down to put on a show here for you, the great fans of the new Raceway Park, fueled by Total Motors of Lamar's.
Hey, Sonia Brunson, meet up with me later. I have a secret to tell you. All right, so 8 cars, 12 laps the distance. Our first feature event of the evening. We have Ford versus Chevy on the front row, and we are green. And it's going to be Pete Rasmussen in that 71 Chevelle. He is going to take the early advantage. Eric Cerny in the 53 Chevy. He is going to go into second. Meanwhile, here comes Kevin Bruck. Oh! Kevin Bruck in the 38 just got docked 2 spots for jumping the start. So he is up to third, but it's not going to matter. Meanwhile, Eric Cerny around as Colby Check in the wall. And caution, I believe, is going to come out. We'll see. Check going to the low side. Is he going to be able to get off the track in time? As you've got the 13 of Rasmussen. Don't worry about the 38. Remember, he is getting docked 2 spots for jumping. So Pete Rasmussen with a sizable advantage over second place. That is going to be the double X of Trent Proskasil. It is Rasmussen, Proskasil, Rombach, Proskasil, and, well, Proskasil.
As Eric Cerny's going to get by Proskasil in the 12 car. Near at the back of the back. We've got a great battle going on here between the 7. Well, Bill Wildman Rombach. And then the 12P of Brandon Proskasil. Kevin Bruck out with the race lead, but getting docked 2 spots for jumping the start. So Pete Rasmussen is your race leader in car 13. Double X running in second with that spider web windshield. That's going to be Trent Proskasil, and then Dennis Proskasil in the 12th team. So Brandon back behind him. And then another, close call there. Almost had contact with that 53 Chevy in the 00 car, Eric Cerny. And then the 7 of Bill Wildman Rombach. As cars are single filed out now onto the raceway. Kevin Bruck getting docked 2 spots for jumping the start in car number 38, who is out in front right now, but he'll be moved back to third, so he will be running third presently. You just hear that motor on that double X, a screaming Ford motor in that 49 Ford as caution flag comes out. Not sure what the caution's for.
Oh, that doggone French driver, Jacques Debris.
But these guys put on a great show each and every track they visit. Been to the Norfolk, over in Norfolk, Nebraska. They're the Off-Road Speedway twice this year. So my 3rd time seeing them this year. Mike Ganskow won in the 2M car as that 2M sits in the infield now. But Colby Check running it tonight. Mike, we hope you get better, man, with that torn meniscus. Green flag's going to come back out, though. Kevin Bruck was serving his two-dock penalty when that caution came out, but now back out in front in that 38 car. Here comes a 00 power move from Eric Sierney in the 00 War percent car. Running side by side with Pete Rasmussen in car number 13. Trent Proxil in the XX car sitting in fourth. And then the 12P car of Brandon Proxil side by side for that fourth and fifth place spot. 2 laps to go. It is Kevin Bruck, Pete Rasmussen, Eric Sierney, and Proxil. As Brandon Proxil to the inside of Trent now as the white flag's out one more time around for Kevin Bruck. Bruck has a feature win with this class in the off-road speedway at Norfolk, Nebraska. Now back out in front again in that 38 car through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. It's going to be Kevin Bruck winning your A feature. Pete Rasmussen in second, Eric Sierney in third, fourth going to Trent Proxil in the XX car, and 12P of Brandon Proxil rounding out your top 5. Then the 7 of Wildman Bill Rombach, the 12 of Dennis Proxil, and then Colby Check rounding out the field in the 2M car.
Well, what can you say about that run, Doc? You 2 spots, you still come back and whoop them. Talk about it.
Car's fast.
What did you guys find in the heat race that helped you out with the feature?
Really nothing. Changed his plate around with the shock. That's about it. I mean, it's basically a stock car with a body on it. It's pretty simple to drive.
So the battle you had just kind of coming up through the field. So a lot of these guys you've raced with before, maybe a couple you haven't. Talk about running with these guys.
I run with Pete back when I started as a rookie in the hobby stocks. We used to bend up a lot of sheet metal together. He's fun to race with. I raced with the I don't know what you call it, the Nebraska group, only when they race. They won't let me race in Iowa, so I have to go to Nebraska.
Well, congratulations to you and Sarge here, and take that trophy home.
Thank you.
All right, so your Midwest Classic Stock Car feature winner, driving car 38, that is Grandpa Gums, Kevin Bruck.